Well, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have a couple of great discussions to speak with you about. Let me just ensure that we have sound. If you can hear us, please post it in the comments where you are watching. We love to be able to send you shout outs towards the end. We are here live on LinkedIn, Facebook. We are in our digital platform as well. And then, of course, our YouTube channel. So ensure that we can hear and we have your attention. So thank you very much. I'm Laura Torres, and these Blue Star Careers webinars are designed to connect our members with job opportunities and partnerships while creating pathways, while also raising awareness of the latest resources and connections that we bring to our program. Our Blue Star members in this August, I just want to remind you that join us. Let's fall back into focus, build skills and connections. August is the perfect time to reset your career goals, complete a certification, perhaps expand your professional network before the fall hiring season kicks in. So, in just any time, we're going to start seeing a little bit more rising of real opportunities. Our Blue Star Learning Network is also accepting new learners. Join and explore the different options. We have over 15 different partners who have teamed up with us to provide additional ongoing upskilling opportunities. So, plus, also some cohorts are starting soon. So you can find out all of that in the Blue Star Careers neighborhood, and I'll tell you more about it in just a second. Today, I'm honored once again to welcome a couple of our military spouse circle of influence leaders. For those of you who are unaware of the current project, this that is very much part of our Blue Star Careers community to empower other military spouses. Our military spouse circle of influence is powered by Target. It is a peer-led initiative that connects military spouses across all six branches of services with career support, mentorship, and resources. Or guess what? Just to have a peer-to-peer discussion. It's all we want, just to be able to be known that you're not alone. These leaders from our community are proudly representing each branch of service while helping us identify career-focused resources for our community members that are tailored specifically for your branch of services. Because we're all military spouses, yet not Army life is not the same perhaps as Navy life or perhaps in the Marine Corps life. So without further ado, let's begin and let's welcome our leaders who are here today to share a little bit more about updates, but also what's been going on in their particular role and how are they feeling. Thank you. Here we are once again. Thank you so much for joining. And that was a very long introduction, by the way, but I just want to remind that August, it's here and we are looking for learners, individuals who want to team up, but also upgrade your skills while getting ready for full hiring season. So without further ado, let's welcome our members, our military spouse circle of influence. Please post your comments, your questions, and I'm going to turn it over to them. Ray and Kristen, welcome back, ladies. Thank you so much, team. I'm so proud and honored to have you here with me on this virtual wave, and hopefully one day we'll catch up and connect in person. So, who wants to lead us into making a reintroduction of yourself?
I could start. I don't mind. So my name is Kristen. Laura, thank you so much for having us here. We appreciate it. It's been an honor to be in this position this last month. as we jumpstart this opportunity. And we're very grateful to Blue Star Families as well, to Target, for powering this opportunity, so that we can serve our community and serve our military families, military and military spouses as well too. So to introduce myself, my name is Kristen, and I'm representing the Marine Corps spouses and Marine Corps families. I actually was introduced to Blue Star Families, I'd say back in maybe 2019. I had the opportunity to utilize a lot of their resources. We've moved quite a bit. We've moved nationally, internationally, and obviously I'd had to transition a lot with my career. And so I've had the opportunity to utilize some of the resources of Blue Star Families, connect with Laura, and be on the other end and see what it's like to move and constantly shift, and to start new jobs and to find new jobs and take new trainings, and constantly evolving and growing, and then also being part of your community. So I think that's the biggest thing, is this community that was created with Blue Star Families, I was really gravitated towards, and that's something I gravitate towards every time we move, is trying to build my sense of community. So yeah, I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for this opportunity. And yes, I will turn it over to Ray.
Thanks so much, Christian, and thanks to you, Laura, as well. I'm really excited to be here today, and I also share the same sentiments as my colleague, Kristen, about this enormous opportunity and responsibility to help military spouses. Specifically, I represent Navy families or Navy spouses. I'm an active duty Navy spouse, and I grew up as an Army brat, and so I've understood the challenges and opportunities associated with military life my whole entire life. And so I'm really excited about the opportunity to give back in this way. I became acquainted with Blue Star Families through the Outdoor Explorers program here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I am someone who's never really been outdoorsy, but through the program, we had a number of excursions or hikes together and readiness seminars to prepare us for our overnight outdoor tent camping trip. I've done quite a bit of RV camping or cabin camping, but never tent camping. And so through that experience, I was able to do it with my toddler daughter while my husband was on deployment. And I was just really excited about all of the resources and the networking and just really community. To Kristen's point, when you relocate, you have to build community and make friends fast, sometimes even asking a complete stranger to be an emergency contact. And so through and through, I've really enjoyed being a part of this network and community in the last month or so. And so we are really excited about even doing more in the coming months and collaborating to further expose other military affiliated folks to what we have to offer. And so thanks so much for the opportunity, Laura.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for introducing yourselves. And for those of you who are watching, post any comments or any, like-minded thoughts that you think about as you also navigate your own branch of service. I know my lifestyle, as I mentioned multiple times, is very different now as a retiree spouse, and challenges as a caregiver, dealing with the VA versus now, the deployments and all those other things. But we're very grateful that we get to see, what those experiences are through your eyes, but also the great impact that you are supporting out in our community. And now I'd like to sort of put you on the spotlight now that you have really done probably a little more intentional research on your own, but also for other spouses. What would you say is one resource of your branch of services that you wish others could explore, that you have discovered in recent times, or maybe perhaps you had already utilized it before? Kristen.
Yes. So I think the biggest thing for me, especially, having started off as we were newly married couple, and, constantly moving. And then, now we've moved several times, and I call it along our journey. And so I think the biggest thing I can push out to say is just to obviously to start to build a sense of community, because it can be quite lonely when you move somewhere, and you don't know anybody, or you're just starting off, or maybe you're moving somewhere and you know everybody that's going to be there. It could be a small town or a big city. But I think the biggest thing is making sure, at least for our part, is having your military member, even if they are active duty, and they're reserve or active reserve, or whatever the stats may be, is to ensure that they give your information to either the command team of the unit, or the unit readiness coordinator, or the deployment readiness coordinator. I think that's the first step, in really just trying to, because this way you also will be able to get access to, if there's monthly newsletters or quarterly newsletters, events that are happening in the unit, events that are happening within your base. And that's kind of how you start to integrate into the community and build your community, especially if you don't know anybody. And if you do know some people, then you can kind of link arms and say, hey, do you want to check out this event? A lot of times the bases, even in remote areas, do have access either in person or virtually. They offer many different resources, anything from financial courses teaching you about your finances, then you shift over to the career side. It could be about what is LinkedIn and how can you create your LinkedIn profile, or if you already have a LinkedIn profile, how can you make it better, make it appear more, get more people to gravitate towards it, helping your resume. And that's not just for spouses, it's also for the military and through their transition. Through those offices that you can go to. So there are, you have your Marine Corps Community Services, as well as your Marine Military Support Family Center, that has a lot of resources on base. So if they're hosting an event, right now I'm starting to see a lot of bases and installations having job fairs. So these are amazing opportunities. Even if you are already in a career, but you're looking for additional opportunities, even for education and furthering your career or your growth opportunities, it's a great place to go to. It's a great place to network. I know the one I did attend, they actually even provided free headshots for you to use for your LinkedIn. So these are free events for you to go to. So I think that's the first thing I would say to anybody, is to make sure that your military member is getting you connected with your email address or phone number, just with the unit. And you can participate in any way you wish. You don't, it's not, it's optional to be able to attend everything. But it is something to know that it is good to have, and that you do feel part of that community.
Wonderful, thank you. And it looks like you have a cheerleaders there for San Diego MCCS supporting. Uh, and so those are great, great tips, Kristen. Thank you. I think on my end, when I was going through the process, my spouse did not add me into the checklist or the email list, I guess, until when he was a little more senior in the process. Does that tend to happen a little bit more, do you think, or?
Yeah, so I think having started off much younger too, in this process, is that I think at any point it's even your command team, even if there's not a unit readiness coordinator, deployment readiness coordinator, usually they'll ask for the family information. One is for emergency, but also two just for communication. So I think that at any part you are along your journey, in wherever they're at in that career, I would definitely ask that question, is saying, do I need to give my information? Should you want to, it's optional, to the command team. From the most part, I do know a lot of them have communications out to the family, even if it's just like, we lived in an area in South Carolina, and hurricanes or something like that, finding out about information about that, and being, if you're not from that area or used to those natural disasters that could happen, any kind of information. And usually that comes directly through your chain of command.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And Ray, what is life like for a Navy spouse? How do we career ourselves through the Navy? From your perspective, what is the one tool or resource that we should all be aware of?
Well, first and foremost, I really appreciate being near beaches, being a Navy spouse. I'm growing up as an Army brat. I was rarely near beaches, with the exception of my dad's last duty station in South Georgia. But with that, I'd say the MWR, or Morale, Welfare, and recreation offices on base are hugely impactful. They have a number of connections to local events, networking, education resources, along with the fleet and family support centers as well. I also would say, to Kristen's point, our ombudsman, I always get that word pronounce it weirdly or whatever, but ombudsmen are assigned to each ship at a naval command or installation, and those persons are really engaging and impactful, and they are part of like your emergency readiness team essentially, because they have direct contact with leadership with their specific ship or command, and can help you navigate things in crisis, or when you're wanting to navigate the community around you. And so I've been able to access resources at the MWR on a number of occasions, whether it was when we were in Key West and I wanted to go jet skiing, I got discounts for that. Or they also sponsor a number of career fairs, even at North Florida, University of North Florida here. And so I would say Fleet and Family Support Centers are really amazing, MWR. And then I've also recently found the new world of so many Navy spouses are entrepreneurs or own their own businesses. And so I recently joined an association of military spouse entrepreneurs association, like literally 2 days ago. And there's chock full of opportunities, because so often our careers require us to be agile and move at a moment's notice almost. And so being able to build a business or consulting practice is really important for spouses, because we come from all walks of life and have so many skills that we can leverage for our careers.
Wonderful. This is great. Yeah, I think I came in touch with the ombudsman community a little bit when I resided in San Diego, but it's a great program, and so hopefully a lot of military spouses who come in that are connected to the Navy are connecting to their ombudsman. So did each is it command have one, or are there more than one? How does that work? Do you know?
Yes, yes, each one does. And actually, next Friday, I'll actually be working with Laura to publicize this more. But next Friday, I'll have an ombudsman, Michaela Missouri, who's a Navy spouse here at Mayport with me. She will be demystifying what does an ombudsman do, because I have never engaged with them. She'll be letting us know what they do, how they do it, and also how to leverage those skills to market yourself in your job search. And so I'm excited to have a conversation with Michaela, sponsored by our Military Spouse Circle of Influence program, and she can really demystify what that involves. And even last night, I was texting her about the things, and she was at like an Ububson meetup, because there's one assigned to each ship here. And so I think it's an amazing opportunity, not only to do extracurricular like volunteering, but also to be able to learn like actionable skills you can apply to your current career, or if you want to pivot.
Wonderful. So that's great. We look forward to that support. And I now to Kristen. Kristen, now that you are on this side as a facilitator, you have had some really great interactions with Blue Star families overall through various programming and also as a member. But you are now on this side as a facilitator. Has it been an aha moment, or how are you seeing career programming from this side of the lens?
I definitely say there is a lot more visibility and a lot more resources. I think there was a lot of resources before, but now seeing it on this side and just how many resources are out there and how many organizations are there to help others and just provide even volunteer mentors from big corporations, mentoring and just really being a voice for those, for the military that are transitioning or military spouses and families, and just how many resources are actually available. It's crazy. I didn't realize how much there is until you actually get on this side and see everything that is available. But it's also wonderful. It's heartwarming because, kind of like Ray was saying, that everybody's on a different path in life and comes from different backgrounds and has a different journey. And so some may look for opportunities that are more in person or be more virtual because maybe they've got a family at home or other commitments or they're looking to grow. And I think that with the Blue Star Families neighborhood, that allows that to move with you. And there's so many resources that you don't need to stop just because you're moving or you're PCSing to a new installation or someone's retiring or they're leaving. There are so many resources that you can use and bring with you along the way. So obviously one being Blue Star Families. In the neighborhood, there's a career group and there's constantly, the remote jobs or career growth, getting certificates. And there's so many different groups in there as well too for others that may be looking for something different. And that we've shared along the way throughout this past. So I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot what's available. And I think it's just wonderful because I can keep pushing that out and educating others as well too and being there for our military and our military spouses.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the neighborhood shout out. And talking about neighborhood shout out, I'm going to take this opportunity, if it's okay with you, team, to share what's happening this Thursday. It is normally a networking event for the Googlers, but because we thought, what an incredible leader Anna Larson is, and in supporting the transition of military spouses, getting to know more of what is out there, getting to know more about yourself. She's going to be talking a little bit more about the Clifton Strengths Assessment. And then we have five assessments to give away during this session. So, five lucky attendees will be selected to try it out as well and then discover their own strengths. So, that's one activity we have going on. And actually, it's in fact tomorrow. Have you guys taken an assessment before, a strengths assessment or some kind of personality to let you know how amazing you are in certain areas?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. And so hopefully some of our members who are watching today can join. And then the other thing that I also want to remind community members, we still have space for our remote work sessions. We have adapted this workshop a little bit different as well. So the first 30 minutes is just a little bit of introduction, the how, where, and why you should, consider remote work, but also best practices. That's really what is intended. What are some of those things that you need to consider in this competitive market? And then after the first 30 minutes, we have partners join us. In this case, we have three partners. We have Purse Colors, we have T-Tech, and we have Boldly Staffing Agencies. So three very, very different sort of remote work opportunities and industries who will be joining us to share a little bit more about their current opportunities. But the best thing that I love about some of our networking events is for you as a job seeker to find out, how does Boldly hire? What do they look for in an applicant? We don't want to send you just straight, completely blindfolded into a job opportunity, applied, and then be lost or say, I never got any feedback. Well, yeah, it's because maybe the job was not open, or they were just building a pool, or maybe they have this specific requirements. So before you invest that 1 hour, 2 hours of your time in creating all these job submissions, know what the employer is looking for. And so that's the main thing that we are trying to do with all these networking events. And if you are re-entering the workplace, we have this incredible also networking event coming up with Home Depot on the end of the month. And this one is not for you to work at Home Depot, although let me tell you, Ray and Kristen, they have some really cool jobs over at Home Depot. Some are remote, some are across the states, some are specific in data science, and so some are specific ones. But what the Home Depot team is going to do with us in this event, especially if you are struggling, looking for just someone to tell you a different way to do things, that's what this is all about. It's about networking with other like-minded military spouses, but also working and connecting with the recruiting team, who they are on a daily basis, reviewing applicants, reviewing best practices, what's within the industry behind the scenes, looks for in all these type of opportunities. And so that's really what we're doing at this particular event. So hopefully they can join us, others can join us. What do you guys think about these?
Oh,
I
I
think
think those are wonderful opportunities to learn about so many different roles at unlikely organizations. I think oftentimes when people think about Home Depot, they think, oh, the yard place, or will I go get something for my grill or for my refrigerator? And I think they're a really amazing organization that has a number of roles, not just in store, but that help build the capacity of the organization. And so I'm looking forward to that and the networking. I think that you can learn something from everyone. And so I think that it's an amazing opportunity to meet people from all walks of life and to maybe learn about a new skill or path to pursue.
Absolutely. My biggest takeaway from some of these events is that, now I know how Home Depot hires, or peers among that same industry. When we are at the remote work sessions, now I know how any of those three partners or two partners that they join us on a regular basis, how they hire. What are some of those processes? Do they have an assessment? Am I going to be able to qualify for the assessment? Do I have all these, hurdles that I need to first review or see? Do I submit a cover letter? Maybe not. All these different things that you need to set yourself up for success and expectations. And through these networking sessions is where you get more clarity. Then you can proceed to apply and really put to use some of those best practices that are coached by leaders who are on a regular basis reviewing candidates, reviewing applications, and attending all of these larger conferences on their own time to stay competitive within the hiring hiring and recruiting slash industry. So I'm really looking forward to those. All right, team, we're not going to make this super long. We just wanted to get an update and things. I'm going to put you back on the spot and ask you, Ray. So what is one thing that we are all that you're doing, and of course, how can we support you? What is Navy life for you at the moment, career focus, and that we can all do for you? Put you on the spot, your projects.
I feel like I could talk at length and at nauseum about this. However, I will condense it for the purposes of this webinar today. But I think that something that I've really understood to be true, both as an Army brat and a Navy brat, that I am in full support of my husband's service and his career trajectory, but I also have that same energy, if not more, for my own. And so I think that through being a part of programs like the Military Spouse Circle of Influence, I've been able to learn about a bevy of opportunities. It wasn't until just last year when I decided to do a career pivot that I even knew what Blue Star Families was. Because quite frankly, when I was an Army brat and my mom was navigating her career, these resources did not exist in the 80s and 90s when she was an Army spouse. She was an educator on and off base. And so she was an educator for over 30 years. But so often, even though teachers are so valuable, a lot of people don't want to be teachers on base or off base. And so I am so excited there's so many opportunities for folks to access. And something that I think remains true is that I think that it seems a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Like you're like, oh my gosh, there's certifications, there's mentorship, there's remote jobs, there's all the things. I think to just pick one thing a quarter or a month that you can do to pour into yourself goes a long way. And so for me, when I started pivoting in my career last year, first I did the American Corporate Partners mentorship program. Then I did Hiring Our Heroes. Then I did Outdoor Explorers. And now I'm doing this and a number of other things as well. And so I think pace yourself. I think that we're only in competition with ourselves. We can all be our own worst critics, but I think that just pace yourself. Just come up with a plan of, I want to do 3 things this year, and maybe do it quarterly or do it monthly or even weekly or daily goals, because it is attainable. I know it can be very daunting with all of the different challenges we encounter in military life, whether that's deployment or PCSing or even transitioning to civilian life. I think there is always time for you to pour into yourself, even if it is just going on LinkedIn and reading what we have going on with Blue Star programming, or getting in the neighborhood and looking at your specific branch and see who's contributing and reaching out for maybe a virtual coffee. I think there are a number of opportunities to get into, but I think it can be overwhelming for folks. And so I say my advice would be to pace yourself. You don't have to do it all in a day. And you can't do it all in a day. But I think by strategically pacing yourself and identifying some things you want to accomplish, you can do so. And there are so many in the people in the community who can be your battle buddy or accountability partner. Quite frankly, Kristen has really inspired me to really get in community. I'm so used to being being in virtual working environments. And so even through her working the work she's doing in Yuma, Arizona, to actually be on the ground and go to community events has inspired me. So I'll be at a coffee with Blue Star Families Jacksonville in person next week, talking about the work that we're doing with Military Spouse Circle of Influence and in our community in general here in Jacksonville. And so I think there's no big or small task. Just pick a few little things to do to invest in yourself, because far too often, and what we know to be true, is that our spouses' careers more often than not going to take priority. However, you have to make it a priority for yourself as well. And ultimately, your family will gain an immense amount of support and success by investing in yourself as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. That is super, such a great, great tip. And I'm glad that you're feeling very inspired as well to continue to invest in yourself, but while in the process, change the lives and draw new pathways for other Navy spouses that are following your steps. Kristen, you are our community goer. So how do I find as a Marine Corps spouse career support or resources? What's your best tip for others?
Absolutely, and I completely agree with Ray on everything you were saying. And some people are more wanting to go to community events, and but some people are nervous. Some people feel lonely, or they don't have their community, and so I think there's a lot of virtual opportunities to be a part of. There are wonderful resources and organizations out there that you can do it from your own home, and be gentle with yourself, in that process as you build your community in any way that you wish and whatever that looks like. And if you do feel like participating in certain events, there's wonderful events that are on the bases, or if there's bases around you. If you're located somewhere and it is we've been stationed where it was primarily just we were at a Navy base, and utilize those resources as well too. There's so many wonderful opportunities that, and even if you're attending certain events, with your family, if you have a family, or there's a game night or something, you can attend that, and then you kind of build your community, but then also you can learn about what other people have done. And if that's not something that you want to do, there's also volunteer opportunities that you can do in your community. And if it's once every month or so, you never know where that could lead to. I was grateful that I had that opportunity, that I was volunteering when we transitioned to a smaller community, and I had to leave my job actually in San Diego. And I had a wonderful opportunity with the American Red Cross. I was volunteering with them, and then eventually I realized what was needed in the community, and I opened my own small little business in partnership with them. So yeah, so it can lead to so many different things where you never thought that could lead you to. So I think it's just kind of finding what gives you that spark, what makes you happy as well, and be gentle with yourself along the way. And utilize the resources, and kind of going back is having that opportunity to go back into the neighborhood, Blue Star Families neighborhood. Blue Star Families um, partners with so many wonderful organizations out there, and it can seem like a lot, but we're sharing a lot of information within those neighborhood groups, even if it's for perks. I joined Blue Star Families, and we were moving, transitioning, and trying different programs, and I was able to actually I got a free Pilates membership for like 3 months. So that was great. And yeah, so there's a lot of great things out there. Even Masterclass, that had everything from career to cooking to all these wonderful resources. So definitely, if you haven't had the opportunity, I would highly suggest everybody to sign. It's completely free, obviously, and just sign up and be part of the neighborhood. It moves with you. You can partake any way you wish, or just utilize the resources that are there. And if there's ever anything that we could provide back, we're active in all the groups, so please let us know. And yeah, just be gentle with yourself and allow yourself the opportunity to grow. So, but I completely agree with everything that Ray was saying as well too.
I love that. With that, I just want to would like to obviously end and wrap it up for us. But I love that. Thank you so much, Kristen, for reminding us to be gentle with ourselves and to take what we can manage for the week, for the day, and beyond. Thank you so much, team. I'm learning lots of it from you guys as well. Feeling very inspired. So we send our hellos and good nights to Louis, all the way in Germany. So thank you, Louis. If you watch this replay, thank you so much. She's part of our, and then Liz, who's doing Air Force stuff together. Aurora is traveling for outdoors community stuff. So everyone is doing something to support our community. So thank you so much, all of us, for our circle, our leaders, to for and for you, all of you, to watching. Thank you, MCCS, for supporting, and the shout out to the Marine Corps. And then I don't know, Ray. Next time you gotta bring the ombudsman community here. I'm feeling the pressure here for the representation. So but we look forward to your event later on this week as well.